Hello, everybody, and welcome to our third Thursday competition. And I'm muting somebody as they just came in. Okay, yeah, third Thursday. This is December 2015.
This is a
And
December that will go down in history.
in what way?
Well, tonight is the night that Star Wars premieres in the States. So
True.
that might be why we have a little bit less people tonight.
Yeah, it probably is. There's probably people that have tickets to that, but we're here.
Right. We are
You
here.
know
My
that.
tickets are for tomorrow night,
So no
tomorrow afternoon,
spoilers.
actually.
I don't want to know anything. I like going
Yeah, I
in
don't want to.
fresh.
I am going off social media starting, well, basically starting this afternoon. No social media
Oh,
until I
that's
see it.
smart.
hmm I posted a picture today of a TIE fighter that I drew, and I haven't even checked to see what people have said about it. No comments. I haven't read any comments or anything.
You're
Because
like
I don't
me.
want someone to say, "Oh, that's a cool TIE fighter. It reminds me of wah,"
Yeah.
in
Why
the
do you want to
movie."
know? We don't want to know.
We don't want to know. Be cool. Don't spoil. But you remember that propaganda poster from the 1940s during World War II? I'm sure you were there, where it's, I'm sorry, that was an easy one. But there was one that said "loose lips sink ships,"
Hmm.
right? And if you knew something and you said something, it could go back and they would know whatever.
That's
Anyways,
right.
loose lips get your face punched in when it comes to Star Wars. So that's my poster.
I have a really
And
good story about being a movie spoiler, but
mhm,
it's too long for now. But
dang it,
if you guys ever want it all and we're together
we'll
somewhere,
do a
it's a
we'll do a special SVS night called Stories with Will. And it's just 2 hours of Will telling stories, which you
okay.
have great stories.
So Aaron's telling me that the blog post is up right now that you're going to announce. But first,
hmm
we're going to talk a little bit about Third Thursday.
Let's do it.
So what is Third Thursday? Third Thursday is every third Thursday of the month we have
hmm
a juried competition where anybody can join, um, and anyone can enter for free. And what we do is we give a prompt, an illustration prompt, and you illustrate it, and you try to.
Yep.
It's your own take on the subject matter. We often will specify whether it's for comic books or book covers or children's books,
hmm
if that's the intended audience. Why do we do this?
I'll tell you why we do this, Will. It's because it's threefold. Okay. Number one, it's a way that we can critique some artwork. Um, I guess somewhat outside of the structure of the classes that we teach, but it's a way for us to have access to, or to other people to have access to us to get their artwork critiqued. Unfortunately, because we're just two or three people, we can't critique everybody's work. So this is our way to critique a few people's work. And the second reason is you learn by seeing other people's work critiqued, and you
Mm,
learn by seeing what other people are doing. So when you see someone try and solve a problem visually, and then you see that critique, there's always something you can learn from that.
that's right. That's
And
great.
and then the third reason is it's fun.
Those are three good reasons. And one
Yeah.
thing I might mention and add to that is that I definitely don't want to offend any of my UVU students, but one of the things I find interesting is a lot of times when I'm doing a critique at school, because they're mostly a younger audience, and I would say
hmm
that tonight's audience, the third Thursday audience, is a lot of people that have matured. Maybe they're on in their life and they're working, or they're moms or dads, and or
hmm
their kids are grown. And I've just noticed that there's a lot more value placed on watching a critique for someone else, whereas a lot of times, not all my students, but a lot of times they're zoned out when someone else is getting their stuff critiqued. And I
hmm
think, my gosh, they're missing out on on the gold, because someone else has messed up on something that they've either messed up on before or going to mess
Yeah,
up on. We all mess up,
I love it.
and I still give critiques. Okay, so and then the fourth thing is we put the video up on YouTube. So tonight's recording goes up on YouTube, so you can also check past Third Thursdays on our YouTube channel. What is our YouTube channel, Aaron? I'm going to put him on the spot. While he's putting that in the chat, I'm going to switch over to you, Jake,
Mm-hmm.
and make you the presenter, or you can just take
All
it.
right. Show my screen right now. Let's do it. Okay. So for January, this is your assignment. Should you choose to accept it, the prompt is this, and I will accept children's book illustrations. I'll accept comic book pages if you want. Any way that you want to interpret this. But here's what it goes. Here's how it goes. Stanley ran outside as fast as he could to see what made that horrendous noise. And I kept it very, I don't know what's the word, not cryptic, but I kept it wide open. It could be anything. This could be something happening in a neighborhood, a suburban neighborhood. This could be something happening. It could have a sci-fi bend about it. It could be fantasy. Whatever you want to do. I am excited, and I'm curious to see how people interpret this.
I think it's a great prompt. I'm going to be
Mm-hmm.
tempted to do this one as well. So that will be up on our blog on svslearn.com. It's also going to be on our Facebook page, the SBS Learn Facebook page. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, so we're ready to look at the honorable mentions. We decided to go with that, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Honorable mentions
For this
rather
time,
than rather
I'm
than.
gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna run a campaign to bring back Top Half. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back a couple episodes where we unveiled Top Half and then the next time got rid of it.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to say there were tons of entries this time, and they were amazing. There were so many
They
amazing
were.
ones.
They
In
were
fact,
amazing.
we broke our rule and we went with 8 winners tonight
What?
instead of 5. Well, 3 winners, but 8 people that are going to be
Three,
like in the top half.
classified as a winner.
Yeah.
5 are getting critiqued, right?
Maybe
So,
we call them honor. Yeah, the Caldecott calls them honor books. Maybe we'll call them honor
yeah,
Thursdays.
they could be an SVS or Third Thursday honor entry.
Yeah, and we're actually working on our website on figuring out a way to get some of these winners on the website permanently, or at least in a place where they appear on the front page. We're working on that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, how cool would that be if you go, there's a link and you can see every month the prompt and who won it.
yeah.
That'd be neat. That'd be neat. I'd like that.
So here we go. I'm just going to click through these. And again, these were honorable mentions. There were some amazing ones in here. And, a lot of them we could have, I mean, the hardest thing in the world is being the juror and trying to decide which ones, make the cut and which ones don't.
Hmm.
There were a lot of ones that didn't make the cut, and for one reason or another, um, they just didn't. But you could make arguments for a lot of them because there was
Yeah.
the thing that I really loved about this one was how innovative people were. There were so many
Hmm.
new and creative ideas, things I would have never thought of.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, these
Did
were.
you say what we haven't mentioned what the prompt was for people just tuning in?
Oh, that's a good point. So
It's
it was the reindeer, Santa's reindeer got the flu, so Santa used dot dot dot. That's a great one.
The
I really like
stork.
that one.
Oh, a dragon. That's incredible.
Yeah, that one's
Lots of
really
good
nice.
ideas. I like
Again,
that one where he's waiting for the bus. Thought that was funny.
yeah, that was fun too. Yep. I love this one too, the herding cats idea, you
Mm,
know. So creative.
that one cat looks just like mine.
Which one?
The orange one facing us.
Oh,
His name's Moose. He's a good cat. This one's cool. I like the sleigh bell. That's clever.
yeah,
And
like Memphis
putting right
Belle
off in
with
the front. Yeah.
yeah. I like this one too. The with
Yeah.
the candy cane horns.
Hmm.
Yeah. So really fun.
Yeah, this one stopped me in my tracks. I was trying to tell how these images are. Is this one actually CG? Like, it's a model, isn't it?
I think so. I think it's some kind of like Maya or some modeling program.
Yeah.
Yeah, neat stuff.
Watercolor.
Yeah. This one's really fun too.
Oh,
It's fun that two people had the same idea of the cats,
right.
but a totally different take.
Barn animals. I should have posted my drawing.
Yeah, you had one where, yeah, why didn't you?
I completely uh, forgot about it. I forgot that I did that one. I should hold it up for the webcam, people who could see the webcam.
I should have posted my Santa Pups book in the
Yeah,
forums because I did that a while ago. Written by Jerry Pilata. Really fun book.
Santa pups.
I love this one.
That guy's like, no, don't ruin her, Santa.
Right. This is my pride and joy. Okay. So there we go. Those are the honorable mentions. So
Great, look good.
then we have 8 winners, and the first one is going to be from Karen Etherington.
Mm.
Really nice. Is she with us tonight? I know it would probably be in the middle of the night or early morning. She's from Australia. I don't see her on the list, so
What's
she'll
her
have
name
to.
again?
Karen Etherington.
Karen.
Yeah.
This one, man, you could put a Coca-Cola logo on that.
Oh yeah. It's got some great stuff going on here. So so some of the things that I thought about this, other than it's beautiful rendering and beautiful color, um, is what we're looking at here. Um, Let me just get another layer to work with here. But what I see in the composition is really like one side and the other side, and there's this play between two. You know,
Hmm.
one, two, and that doesn't usually work that well. And
Right.
then we have both characters kind of on top of each other, and then we've got these big empty areas of space. And so I didn't come up with a complete solution for that without there'd be more redrawing, but I kind of just hinted at it a little bit. So I just kind of painted these guys out a little bit. The other thing I thought, let me just zoom out a little bit here, um, is is maybe I could move that little elf into the foreground and make him bigger, um, to take up some of that space. So that's a possibility.
Hmm.
The other thing is to attack the numbers. Maybe do you see my polar bear that looks like a cloud? Looks like a cow cloud. I did that really quick. But I moved her bear down a little bit to be able to accommodate that. And then I thought maybe that there's extra space. Maybe there's another elf in there that's got
That's
a bear
that's a
that's
good
going
idea.
off screen or
Good
something.
idea.
So those were my basic ideas on this one. Is mostly a spacing, mostly a compositional thing. I mean, like your individual elements are really nice. Um, the only other thing, which is kind of a nitpicky thing, but I would, you've got this bear right here. Um, Let me just grab some white here. You got this bear, and he's looking down at Santa. And they've got this interaction going on between each other,
Hmm.
and maybe that could even be pushed more. This little guy, he's looking up at his bear, but his bear looks like he's drunk. So and so I would have that interaction going on. I would have that bear looking down um, at the guy that's holding on to him like that. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I really like where you're going with this. Just filling it up a little more. Like without those two extra elves that you added, it feels like it doesn't feel like a project. It just feels like, oh, bears are floating.
Hmm.
But now when you add those two other in and the bear off in the distance floating, like now it feels like, oh, this is what they're doing tonight.
Hmm.
This is they're trying to get this thing done. This is actual chore.
I think it's that, isn't it that thing where it's like, you have one guy dancing on the street corner and
Hmm.
and he's an idiot, right? And then you have two guys dancing on the street corner. And it's like, what are those idiots doing? But as soon as the third guy goes over and joins them, it's like, hey, those guys are having fun over there. Um,
Yeah.
and you understand what's going on. And I think that is when you're storytelling, you need to be able to show your viewer the activity, and sometimes in multiple times, especially for a story like this where there's a lot of reindeer. Conceivably, there would be multiple bears. And again, the bottom line is that two is a bad number, a bad design number. So
Hmm.
one, we've talked about this before, but 1, 3, 5, 7, your odd numbers are typically a lot better design numbers. Um,
The other thing, I don't know exactly where I read this, but I think it was Bill Watterson talking about George Harriman, who did Crazy Cat and was a huge influence on Watterson's Calvin and Hobbes. But he said that, uh, and I may be making this up or something, but he said that when you draw one rock in the background, it's a single rock and it draws attention to itself.
hmm
If you draw two rocks, now there's two rocks back there and it looks like a couple of rocks hanging out. So if you want it to feel like you've got a bunch of rocks in the background, you think, oh, well, I'll draw 4 or 5 rocks. Well, now you've got too many rocks that they're drawing attention to yourself. He said the ideal number is 3 rocks.
It really is.
Three rocks gets the message across that, oh, there's rocks back there, and it's something you can ignore.
Right.
Uh, so it's finding that just the right amount. Okay,
So true.
my turn, huh? All right, so this is by Lydia, who I believe I saw her in, maybe that was someone else I was seeing. Nope, Lydia's with us. And, well, the two you gave me, I was like, what am I going to say about these things?
No, they're so good. They
They're
really
so good.
are amazing pieces tonight.
Yeah, I love them. So there's a couple of things. First thing I want to talk about is the concept. And I believe what we've got here is just a great concept. The reindeer were 2/6, so I had to take my sister's unicorn. What I like is that now the story's being told from the perspective of a kid.
Hmm.
So it's not a Santa, but it's like a kid pretending to be Santa. And I really love that. I love that the reindeer are all stuffed animals, and he's replacing the stuffed animal with his sister's like unicorn stuffed animal. It's really, lots of cute stuff happening here, which is great. So I think the concept is spot on, and it reads very clear, and it's very understandable. Next up is a composition, and I think that's where we get into some of our problems, if there are any problems with this one. Compositionally, what we got going on here, a little problem is that she put in the guides here to show where the fold would happen if this is a double page spread.
Mm-hmm.
You take out the guides and it works out just fine if it was a single page image. But when you put the guides in, they're saying, I want this crease to go here. All of a sudden you've got this problem area right here, and you've got this problem area right here. And this stuff should not be happening in the gutter, so to speak. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it over a little bit, and we'll see how that works and looks. Oops. Okay. I would say just move it like this is all you need to do, and already it's working so much better. I'm just gonna paint over some of this stuff. All right, so you look at that. I think that helps the composition.
Yep.
Now that's the quick fix. Okay. The other fix, the bigger fix, I think what we need to do is to take a step back and look at compositionally what we could do to really make this a little more interesting. So I'm just going to pull up a new sheet here and say, what if we put our horizon line down low, and we've got our couch over here.
I love listening to you draw on that.
my scratchy board, yeah. My Cintiq scene. Been around the block a few times, so to speak. But what if you put what if we put ourselves, instead of looking down how we were doing in this one, what if we put ourselves like right there with the character? And I think that just might be a little more interesting. You could have part of the tree here showing.
There's a question from Joanna. So is that how far you should stay away from the gutters, or is there a general rule?
Yeah, I would want to say if the line, if the middle of the gutter is right there, she has this double line space here. I would not have anything go in there. That's important information. So the nose and the eye, that's important. It's just uncomfortably close.
And I would say, like, you can cut a figure or an animal with a gutter, but the worst place to cut an animal or a human would be on the face.
Yeah, in real life and in books. I'm sorry.
No, but yeah, I mean, like, because we look at everybody's laughing. I'll be the comic relief tonight. I'll say all the dumb stuff, and then you can just swoop in. Okay. Yeah, faces are focal points, so yeah.
Yeah, never cut a human or an animal in the face.
I will remember that. It's a great lesson.
All right. So not saying that this perspective is wrong. I think it's fine. I'm just saying maybe if we're down here with the characters, it might be a little bit more interesting. And sometimes what I like to do is to, let's say this is the side view. Okay, we've got the couch, and we've got the stuffed animals on the couch, and we've got the kid, and we've got the unicorn, right? And in the original one, we've got the camera down here looking like that, and that kind of signals that, okay, we are omniscient looking down, or we're the parent figure looking down. But sometimes when you put this camera angle down here, and you record it from this section, from this angle, it makes you feel like, okay, we are the kid, or we're with the kid, we're on his level. So where you put this, the POV of what you're drawing, or illustrating, has a lot to do with the statement, psychological statement that you're saying, that might not be, um, uh, it might not be something you could pinpoint initially, but it's something that's definitely noticeable and evident. So that's all I'd have to say about that. Okay. Um, so we talked about concept, we talked about composition, design. Man, I think this works great. This is such an appealing design for a, um, a unicorn. Stuffed animals are great. This face is working really well. Um, we get the emotion going on there. And then lastly, rendering. Uh, I think I really like everything that's going on until we get the tree in the background here, and I feel like maybe this person, Lydia, just ran out of time, because this is all has attention and rendering going on, and then this tree is sort of just slapped in there. So I think if she had one more day, the tree could be brought up to the level of everything else.
I would
But
I would add that I think Santa, the little kid's face, has
mhm.
feels like it has less modeling and less texture than the reindeer, and then the little, like
Yeah,
it might
yeah, I
not be
agree with that
quite
too.
finished as well. I
Yeah,
feel
the
like,
problem, you're right. The problem there is everything else here has uh, sort of like blocked shapes, and when we get to his face, it's linear. It's the only place in the whole thing where the lines are really defining the shape, and in every one of these other characters, it's the modeling and the value that's defining the shape, and when we get to his face, it's the lines. So you want to be consistent with that. I think the design is fine, but yeah, the rendering could be worked on there. All right, that's it for that one on my part.
I thought you did a really good job on that one, by the way.
Thank you.
I did.
Are you talking to Lydia or me?
You.
Okay. I think Lydia did a good job too.
Okay, yeah. All right. Here we go. Whoops, I'm
Turn
on the
it
wrong
turn it
one
back to
there.
you.
And let's move to this one. So this one is now, I don't actually know who did this because it says Final Santa.
Hmm.
Um, so there's a name, and I saw it in the forums, and I actually gave some suggestions on it, but I don't remember. I could not find it in there. The forums have so many different posts and stuff, and so um, if this is yours, you are a winner, and you need to contact us to get your. Well, we'll find out on that one. But if
It,
you're one of the winners
it's
or one of
signed
the finalists,
SRW. Do we have any SRWs in the chat?
where do
Let's
you
see
see
one
that?
in the
Oh, in
corner
the corner, yeah,
of the.
SRW. Out yourself if you're here. If not, then you'll see it later. A lot of our people are joining us from other parts of the world, and they're sleeping right now. So
Hmm.
um, this one, it's just there's so many amazing things about this. It's really a nice piece. Let me just blow it up a little bit here so you can see a little bit more. Um, I think Aaron's messaging me. Oh, it's Sean Welty's. So, oh yeah, and Rich said that too in the chat, Sean. So congratulations, Sean. Great things going on with this one. And I think the first thing when I look at this is, you've got this little elf kid right here, and then this little character also has really kid-like features. I'm talking about this one right here. But then the difference between the size between the elf and Santa is pretty
Hmm.
pretty similar. So I thought maybe make Santa a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
um, so that they're not on the same level. And Santa is big and jolly and round and fat, so that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
another thing that I saw in this is the rendering is really nice. You know, this really feels like snow. It really feels like it's cold, and then the lights really feel like there's light inside the house coming
Mm-hmm.
out. But I thought one thing that it looks like is that they're standing on top of the snow and not in it, you know. And so I
Mm-hmm.
would just, I would just say, sometimes it's hard to do, but sometimes you have to just put them in the snow, um,
Yeah.
and maybe Santa can have some boots there, but I mean like they've got to feel like they're down in there, and then come back around and paint little areas where their feet are stuck in the snow. But that would be a big thing to help the storytelling, because when you're talking about a surface um, texture, your surface texture has to have meaning, and it has to behave like the surface that it actually is. And snow
Mm-hmm.
has got depth, and you just can't stand on top of it unless it's that California snow that we used to try to snowboard on after like a snowstorm, and it was like 3 weeks old, and you could kill yourself on it.
Right.
Up in the Sierras. Another thing.
Speaking
Oh, go ahead.
speaking of snow, I'm totally ADD right now, but the snow that we have outside in
Uh-huh.
Utah right now, I look at that and it looks fake. It looks rendered. Like it's just the perfect. The sun was
It's
shining on it perfectly, and it just felt like something you'd see in a commercial
Oh,
or
really?
in a animated film. Anyway,
That's awesome.
sorry.
No, you're good. So the next thing that I would do on this one is there's a couple things that you want to keep in mind when you're dealing with objects. You want to make sure that you have different size variations in your image, right? So you want to have small, medium, and large. The next thing you want to make sure that you're doing is you want to make sure that those some of those small objects and large objects actually overlap, right? So that you get overlapping.
Right.
And then the
Hmm.
third thing that you want to make sure you're doing in your image is you want to make sure that not only do you have little small things and medium-sized things, but that some of them actually crop out of the picture, right?
Yeah.
So then I tell my students at UVU, this is beginner mode, this is intermediate, and then this is expert mode right here. So um, you need, and I came up with more polar bears because I felt like again we're dealing with the two,
Hmm.
and there's no foreground. There's all this space
Hmm.
down here, but we're not utilizing it, and we're diminishing the impact that we can have by maybe doing some overlapping. And we don't have to necessarily have this guy in here. I'm not saying that you actually absolutely have to have that one, right?
Hmm.
I don't know. What would you do on that, Jake? Would you have that one there?
I think that one obscures Santa a little much, but
Yeah,
maybe he's down lower or something. The space that's down there that he put down there is perfect for the words.
it is.
Um, I don't know why the words are up on top when he has that nice space down there. But I like your solution a lot better. Leave the words up top and put these bears down there. Um, Also, too, when you're done with your critique, or I don't know if you want to go there now, but there's a nice paint over in the forum that one of the other forum members did on this one,
Hmm.
that had brought up some good stuff too. I don't know if you're going to cover it as well, but
No, I didn't see. I didn't. I did. I did a little paint over on this in there,
uh-huh.
but he changed it
Cool.
and did a lot of good stuff.
Oh,
I'm
good.
thinking this. The reason I'm doing the little snowflakes is I'm thinking that um, you've got this real empty kind of area up there, and why not add to the feeling of that, right?
Hmm. Yeah, that really it kind of brings it alive a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
gives it some kineticness. Is that a word? Kineticness?
I've never heard that word before. I know kinetic,
Kin-
but
Kinetictivity.
keep trying. Okay.
Kinetictivity.
Kineticosity is what somebody said there.
Yeah, yeah, it gives it some kineticosity. Okay, show my screen. I'm just going to show this piece from the forum really quick. You can see here, um, the thing I really like about it is the warmth that
Ah,
that that
yeah.
it was Leon Tine.
Yeah, Leontine, I think.
Oh yeah, but that warmth I think helps too.
Yeah, really nice.
So so that's that. Okay,
Okay.
let's look at Leon's piece here. This incredible thing. Again, this is another one of those where I'm like, what do I say about this?
I know. I gave you the hard ones.
Yeah,
They're all
I
hard.
appreciate it.
They were
Um,
all hard.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so concept, I think is cool. You've got the sick reindeer, and they really do look sick, puffy eyes. They're looking out the window at Santa, and Santa's got um, Mrs. Claus 1966 Beetle, which is it's cute. There's an elf in there driving it. I think that's fun. So I think the concept works. Compositionally, I think we're running into a couple of the same problems as the last one that I did. This is a double page spread. Um, Judging by this marker in the middle, dividing it in two. So you take that out, and imagine this was a book being really really wide landscape style book, and this is one image. I think it works like this, but as a double page, um, we get a little too close for comfort, I think, in that middle section. So what I would do is just, you've got these trees that are seeming very important, just because of the amount of space that they're taking up. But I think we could move everything over about this much,
Hmm.
and have this a little bit more impact for everything. And then if I just go in here and take this stuff out, get this effect a little bit better. Um, and what that does too is it allows this road that he's walking on lead up to him a little more, which I think works good. But yeah, now Santa's really in the middle of this page. You've got everything pointing towards him. I think that little thing just helps it so much more.
It does. It's
Um,
interesting, but it's those. It is the fine tuning that really separates the really
mhm,
really good artist from the professional, right? I mean, it's
mhm.
those little. It's staying with it and being able to see that stuff, and a lot of it
Yeah,
is. I think a lot of it comes from experience. Um,
yeah.
and getting what one thing for sure is getting. Have you ever done this? Gotten a book back and that's been printed, and you look at things and you go, oh, why didn't I see that? You know?
I know, I know. Uh, actually just got my proofs for Little Bot and Sparrow this week and was flipping through them. And not that there were anything glaringly that I didn't already know about,
Uh-huh.
but there was just little things where once you see it in print on paper, you're like, oh, that's what that looks like.
Yeah.
Uh, Compositionally as well, here's some good stuff. Will talked about the big, little, small. So we've got the big right here. We've got this medium cluster right here, and then you have these little small pieces that kind of make up the rest of it. And I think this just works great. It's a perfect example of what you've been telling people to do. Okay, composition,
It's great.
concept is good. Design-wise, I think the reindeer are mostly good. This reindeer gets a little flat, and so what I think you do is you just move that eye over on that side so it kind of feels like it's wrapping around instead of feeling like this face is smashed, which I think it does now. So I would just have this eye wrap around on that way a little bit more, and with these antlers, maybe have. Well, I guess you don't want it running into that one, but
That's such a tough thing, and that's one reason why I actually came up with this assignment is I hate drawing reindeer behind pulling Santa's sleigh because the antlers mess everything up.
yeah,
They're always in the way. It's a mess.
always.
Who chose the
No,
reindeer?
and it's a true master that can nail it, with all the reindeer and everything. So I would just watch out for working with that. I guess it's fine to have these sagging antlers here because it helps them feel a little sicker. And then when we come over to Santa, I think he actually looks creepy. When you look at his face up close. So I think he just needs to be a little more appealing, and I think that would mean like maybe widening those eyes and giving him a rounder nose. Maybe that. I know he's like pushing it, so he can have the angry, but doing something a little bit more appealing there with the face would be good. Okay, so there's that. I think his pose works fine. And then lastly, the rendering is really solid.
It's really nice.
It feels good. It feels like this is a Will Terry disciple. There's some.
I love it.
Yeah. There's some really good stuff going on here.
And I thought the idea, like everybody's been stuck in the snow and pushed a car before, and poor Santa, you just know it's never going to work,
Yeah.
He's in for a
The
long
only thing
night.
I would watch out for is you've got. It feels like everything's really soft, really soft, really soft, but then you've got these hard edges with the Kleenex box and with the edge of these logs here. So I would just make sure things are a little consistent. That's really hard right there. I'd just make those a little bit more consistent and give them a little bit of softness to match everything else. That's all I've got for this one.
Okay. Awesome. I will take it back. And our final one tonight is Joni Stone.
Oh, nice.
This is a really nice one. And the thing is, I don't know what to do with this. I really don't. I am wondering if Joni is like a professional illustrator. Is she here? I don't think so. Because it's really nice. I have like one suggestion that I can think of. I'm sure you can think of more. I mean, there's different things that I might do a little bit differently, but they're not a right or wrong thing. They're not a design thing. One thing that I might play with, and you can tell me if you think this would work or not. She's got the two elephants, and I'm just thinking like, what if you had like a third one going off, something like that? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right there. This illustration feels, and there's really, I think this comes down, it's pretty subjective, but this illustration feels greeting card like,
Right.
in that the illustration is very contained.
Mm-hmm. You mean,
And I think, yeah, what do I
I'm
mean?
sorry, go ahead.
I mean, there's nothing bleeding off the edge. There's nothing like coming in from outside of the illustration. Um, and I think a lot of times in children's books, you do see a little bit more.
It's a lot less decorative.
Right.
This is really decorative.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I
Which
might point
I
out,
think.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was just going to point out some things that really are working. Um,
Hmm.
and some choices that I probably wouldn't have come up with on my own, but they work.
Hmm.
And that's like a brown sleigh, the
Hmm.
wooden sleigh. I I mean, we all know that Santa's sleigh is red, but it works so much better, I think, in this sense. Um,
Yeah.
and if you look at the value, if you squint your eye at it, you can see how Santa's hat really and his suit really silhouettes off of it. Notice the
Hmm.
control and the resistance to go with the really saturated red,
Yeah.
and to keep it more muted. So, are you taking a screen grab of this?
Oh, I just downloaded it from Dropbox. I'm gonna do a little draw over on it too.
So, like, I mean, you could put these bright reds in here, but I think it looks so much nicer without them.
Hmm.
There's just not really much I would change except, I mean, would you do the elephant going off like that?
I like that, but it changes the style. Like
It
I think what
does.
she's got here is very it's like a Mary Blair
Yeah,
uh, mid-century modern type of illustrative style.
yeah,
Once you add that, it changes it into
something else. Yeah,
something different. Um, and I think it's too much.
yeah. Another thing that you can note that's really working is the green bag, which is also kind of unexpected. It just wouldn't work with a red bag behind Santa as well as it does with the
Hmm.
green. So,
Hmm.
I'll turn it back to you, and you can,
Okay.
if you want to share what you're secretly working on over there.
Secretly. I just took issue with this anatomy that's going on back here. I think it gets a little too complicated there with the
Mm,
leg kind of bending around
so a
like
little more
that.
overlapping.
Yeah. So what I think is maybe I just tried drawing over it.
You're sanding it down there.
Yeah.
I can't help but take cheap shots at your Cintiq monitor.
Maybe I should get a new one. I don't know. I've grown really attached to this one. I
You know,
love the texture on it.
you won't like a new one as well.
Right. It'll be like way too glossy,
Did you ever
way
see
too smooth.
that episode of Little House on the Prairie where they all chipped in and got the Reverend a new Bible, and
No, I
he didn't
missed that
like
one.
it. He didn't like it because it didn't have all of his markings in there. Anyway,
Yeah. I only saw the first maybe 5 episodes of Little House on the Prairie, but I enjoyed it.
I
I,
just
I thought
admitted
it
that I
was
watched Little House on the Prairie.
I thought it was fun. So simplifying this just a pinch, you can add a little bit of that to it, and I think what that does is it just makes it an easier read.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so since you're simplifying, yeah, yeah.
Um, interesting fact, speaking of Little House on the Prairie, is um, I've seen 3 or 4 seasons, no, 2 or 3, maybe I'm on the third season of Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, which I have no desire to watch this show, but my wife was like, "Oh, it's good. I loved it when I was a kid," and she bought 3 seasons of it, and so we started watching them on Sunday nights.
Mm,
And at first I'm like, yeah, whatever. but now I'm like, I gotta find out what happens. It's ridiculous. I want to put like a little tuft on the end of the tails here, um, just to, because elephants have that going on as well. They've got those little hairy things coming up. So I think it's little things like that. You just want to watch out. Now that I zoom out here, I feel like maybe the belly should really come under like this.
If we're nitpicking these kinds of things, it means you did a really nice piece.
Yeah, it does. It does. It means that. Okay, so there's that. The other thing I would do too is Santa's got that boot, and I would just do another one like over here like this.
Can you
That makes it feel like
toggle them back and forth?
he's sitting. That feels more like he's sitting, and that feels like I don't know what he's doing there.
But it's more dainty.
Right there?
Yeah, it's a little more dainty. Like he's,
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like he's about to like, tip over in his seat or something.
I like it.
Again, this is some subjective stuff.
It is.
But it works. Okay, that's all I got.
Love it. Okay, so I guess we got to have the drum roll for the final. We're going to show all 8 now.
All right.
We still don't have that drum roll sound. I'm going to make my
just imagine it.
Get that. Okay, so we've got Joni, which we just looked at. That's our 1, and 2 is Karen Etherington from Down Under. Our number 3 is Leon's. And you already saw Lydia's, and you also saw Sean's, but his has got skipped for some reason in this file. It'll probably come up, but this one is from Brittany Harris. Really, really nice piece.
Yeah.
And again, I just didn't want to choose between some of these because of how nice some were. This one just really had a really nice style from Christiane, and just thought really, really kind of a fun style there.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then this one from Federico.
Whoa.
That's nice, huh?
That's a draw 50 objects piece.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really fun stuff.
Cool.
And here's Sean's. I don't know why it didn't come up, but here's Sean's again. So anyway, thank you so much for participating. The new prompt is now on our blog, and it's also will be on our Facebook if it's not already. Mm-hmm. And we would love to join you for next, or have you join for next January. We do have another announcement that basically we're going to start over, and so everybody's now eligible again. We were saying that once you were one of the top 3, you couldn't win again. You couldn't be part of the top 3. And now we're opening that back up again for another year. So
very good. I love it.
Okay. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Until next time.
I think that's it.
All right. Good seeing you, Will.
Okay, you too. Good night, everybody.
Bye.